If we take a look at the construction here, we've got a header for our portfolio, which essentially takes up all 12 columns across, and then we've got 4 different sections of 3 columns apiece to hold these portfolio images. So we're going to do 2 separate rows, one of 12 columns and then one that has 4 different 3-column sections to it. So let's go to our HTML and start a new row. Class equals row in Bootstrap. And this one is the end row for portfolio. And let's, just like we did in our last section, let's do 3, in this case, 4 different 3-column sections. So we're going to use the small version again, and we're going to say COL small, and in this case we're going to do 3 columns across instead of 4 like we did last time. Close it off, and we'll say end portfolio 1. And again, to save time, I'm going to copy this and paste it 3 more times to have a total of 4 of these sections. 1, 2, 3. So this is portfolio 4, this is portfolio 3, this is portfolio 2, and that will give us our structure. Now the only thing in these areas was the images for each of our portfolio pieces. So I'm just going to go browse and get portfolio 1, give it an alt tag of portfolio example 1. And since I named them all the same, I'm going to take advantage of copy and paste and change this one to portfolio 2. Do the same thing for portfolio 3. This only works if you've named everything consistently. Otherwise, you should definitely go through and do the proper browse and make sure that you get the appropriate file names for each of your portfolio pieces. But in this case, I named them all similarly. So I'm going to save that, and let's pull this up in a browser and see what we got. We've got all of our portfolio pieces. All we're missing is that row to give the header for the entire portfolio area. So let's add that in right above the individual portfolio pieces. And I'm going to call this row header. And we want to use the same sort of layout with the glyph icon and the arrow that we used in our previous section. So I'm going to copy and paste that. The only difference is that's a larger header, so instead of using an H3, I'm going to bump it up to an H2 and use an H2 header for that area, but we're still using that same arrow. And we'll change that to portfolio. And let's see what this looks like. Oh, it's starting to shape up. All the spacing and sizing is looking nice. I'm a fan. Now, if you don't like the difference in the sizes between these, you could play around with the sizing if you want these all to be H3s, if you want some to be larger than others. If we go to our reference in our original design, actually it looks like these were all pretty much the same size. Blog Updates was smaller. So let's stick with an H3. I'm okay with sticking with an H3 for the portfolio. Let's save it and refresh and see if we like that better. It's a little more homogeneous. That looks good. So that is our content area. In the next video, we will move down and work on the blog update section.